Hey all, my name is Paul Borosky and I am the owner of Quality Business Plan. And what I'd like to do today is to introduce you all to my Express Business Plan that is specifically designed for truckers. And so truck driving businesses that I use this specific template for are going to be your over-the-road truckers, it's going to be your box truck drivers, and also your hotshot truck drivers. So this Express Business Plan is designed for various trucking industries. And so the purpose of this video is to kind of show you all how I write my Express Business Plan that is custom designed for truckers. So the way the video is going to work is I'm going to kind of introduce you all to some of the components of my Express Business Plan that's focused on truckers. And then I'm going to, from there, walk you all through an example of, I'm going to show you all the template that I start with for the truck driving business plan templates for the Express Plan. And then I'm going to show you on the right side of the screen what a completed example of the Express Business Plan for truckers looks like. So you'll be able to see what the starting product does and the ending product, and you'll be able to see how I insert y'all's information to customize it to meet the needs of an Express Business Plan. All right, so without further ado, let me go ahead and jump right through some of the components of the Express Business Plan for truckers, and then I'll show you all an example of what a completed plan looks like. Please understand the example that I'm going to show you, that is just it's a fictitious company with fictitious numbers, so please keep that in mind. All right, so for my Express Business Plan for truckers, it's going to be 16 pages. You do get 2 revisions within 30 days of me initially emailing you the completed business plan. There are no refunds once you make your deposit. Once you go ahead and send me all the information I need, complete your questionnaire, we do our initial meeting. From that point in time, once I get some signatures and you make your final payment, by golly, you're getting an Express Business Plan, typically within 3 business days. One of the other bright points of this plan right here is short and sweet, it's to the point, but I'm able to turn it down relatively quickly, usually within 3 business days, depending on the volume of work that I have. So this Express Business Plan, it is limited to 2 employees or less. I do give a substantial discount for micro businesses, and for truckers, I do have a custom designed Express Plan that's geared towards your industry. Executive summary is going to be included. This is a proprietary. This is a proprietary business plan template. Also, I do fill in the information, and there is minimal custom writing, as you will see, once we get into the example. So there is going to be an executive summary. We'll have a company description, services provided, up to 2 services. So if you do dry van hauling and you do reefer, then I'll go ahead and describe those. But if you do dry van, reefer, and hazmat and some other ones, anything after 2, I'll list the services provided instead of describing them. We'll talk about the location, future plans. One of the things that I do add in for my truckers as compared to my typical Express Plan is I do put a future plan section. And usually a lot of my truckers, what they want to do is they're going to start with an over-the-road semi. They're going to have their trailer. After a year or 2, they're going to take on some drivers, and they're going to extrapolate themselves from the business, put another driver in the truck, and grow the business from there. So I'll briefly describe some of your future plans if that is going to be germane to your needs. If it's not, then I throw the future plans out and we just skip over it. Industry analysis is going to be focused on truck driving, whether it be over the road, local, or those are pretty much the 2 options that we have for industry research. Organization and management, I'll touch on that. Marketing and sales, we'll go through that. And then financial projections are going to be geared towards your specific company or your specific driving needs. Whether we're going to talk about your mileage, how many miles you're going to put underneath you on a daily basis on average. What do you anticipate the average rate per mile to be? And so on and so forth. So I'll use your information, I'll plug it into my financial model, and you'll get custom financial projections, pro forma financial projections with your Express Business Plan for truckers. All right, so let's move on And here is the example I'm going to be using. The example I'm going to be using is going to be ABC Trucking. That is a hypothetical company. If there is an ABC Trucking out there, I apologize. That's why I put an example right here. So to the left, this is the template that I start with. And to the right is a finished example of a trucking company business plan. All right, so first page is going to be the title page. I'm going to have your company name right here. It's usually going to look something like this. If you have a logo, send it over to me. I can put that on the title page for you. Right here is just saying that I'm putting it together for you. Next page is going to be a table of contents. Then you can see here, it'll include the executive summary, company description. Usually my trucking company express plan is going to be 16 pages because it is a template. It is very succinct, it's to the point. Very little customization. Let's be honest, you're in the trucking industry, you're going to be driving a truck, you're going to be putting a lot of miles underneath your truck, and you're going to be making a lot of money for the most part. It's as simple as that. Let's not make it complicated. All right, next is going to be your executive summary. And for the executive summary, this is the starting point right here, and this is going to be the finished product. For the executive summary, I literally go into your business plan, and I'm going to copy and paste the company concept and summary. I'm going to put that information, copy it, and I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to do the same thing for the competitive advantage that is inside the business plan. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to put it here. And then the same thing for the target market. I'm going to find the target market's information. I'm going to copy and put it here. Highlight financial highlights. Again, do the same thing. I'm going to go into the business plan. I'm going to copy the financial highlights, put it here, and the same thing with the funding request. The reason that I copy and paste from the business plan explicitly into the executive summary is that it's going to show 100% alignment. Usually, you can view a business plan as two different documents: the executive summary, which is one document, and then the business plan itself, which is a separate document. When you copy and paste and do some minimal rewording, then you're going to be able to make sure your executive summary is aligned with the business plan. That is the concept that I use behind the structure of this. So this right here is going to be the end product of a typical express plan for truckers. We'll talk about the company description and such. And this is the template that I use. And then here is going to be the company description. Here I'm going to summarize the company, your company. I'm going to identify the type of company that, the name of the company. I'm going to go ahead and state where it's going to be located, the owner, and then two of the services. What is the main generator, whether it be dry van or reefer or flatbed or box truck, whatever you're going to be doing, whatever your main revenue generator is going to be there. And then secondary revenue generator, I'm going to identify that as well. And then we'll talk about a specific competitive advantage for your organization. Next is going to be the product description. Again, I'm going to be able to touch on two product descriptions, whether it be, for this example, it's going to be from dry freight hauling and then hazmat freight. But I do have some pre-written information over here, and it's, I can choose from dry van or reefer or flatbed or hotshot or oversized loads or hazmat or small to medium sized freight or local and regional freight. So I've got a lot of different options I'm going to be able to pull from for your services, but I do use two of the services that I plug in here. And again, minimal customization because this is an express plan. Primary target market will identify where you're going to be pulling your freight, and I'll put it in here. Competitive advantages, we'll have a discussion, identify a couple of your competitive advantages, and again, we'll fill in the smart art there. Next is going to be your location, where you're going to be located. I'll also identify some major thoroughfares, and then I'll make a statement that these thoroughfares make it easy for your drivers to be on the road as quickly as possible. Next is going to be future plans. For the most part, from my experience, I work with a lot of truckers, whether it be over the road, hotshot, or box trucks. And typically, when a trucker starts their company, they do have intentions and aspirations for growing. And so I do add a segment here discussing how you anticipate to grow your organization. It's not going to be in depth. It's not going to be too much information, but it at least will give the reader identify an idea of where you're going to be in a year, and 2 years, 3 years, and 5 years. Hours of operation will be right here. And then we'll have the personnel. How many people are you starting with? The Express Business Plan for truckers is geared towards and designed for 2 people or less. If you're going to start with more than 2 trucks or more than 2 people, then I do ask you to go into the Express Plan Plus or even my traditional business plan. So they're going to be better aligned for your needs. All right. Next is going to be industry analysis. Again, this is fictitious information, but the design holds true. I'm going to identify and briefly discuss the type of freight you're going to be hauling here. And then I'm going to summarize the industry information, throw in some statistics in here that I will retrieve from IBIS World. I will also include a chart right here showing the information that we discussed up here, and maybe adding a couple of gold nuggets for the reader to enjoy. All right, next section is going to be the management and organization management. So this is the typical structure that I use here, and this is your finished product. And this should be Ann. Fix that. So we'll do an ownership, briefly discuss what the ownership is, and then the organizational structure shouldn't be more than 2 boxes, the CEO and driver, or just a driver, or just a CEO/driver. However, we're going to structure that information would be here. Marketing and sales. Traditionally for marketing and sales, what I'm going to be highlighting and touching on is going to be some signage on the truck, some load boards, social media, and a website. That is typical, but I do have several different areas from which I may go ahead and pull for advertising, whether you might be doing designated contracts, or you might be specifically focused on freight brokers, or you're going to have a network of individuals you're going to be socializing with and networking with to get business. However that's going to be, I'll choose 2 or 3 of the different segments and put that information in here. Marketing and sales is 1 page, and it's pretty limited. Like I said, it is a customized, it's a fill in the blank template, but it's geared towards the trucking industry, whether it be for over the road or box truck or even hotshots. Next is going to be the funding request. This is specifically, this is designed with the trucking industry in mind. Startup costs, I'm going to break it down into equity investment, and then for a loan, if you're going to take out a loan, and then I'm going to show them where you're going to be spending your money from the loan in your equity investment, for the working capital, the truck, the trailer, some office equipment and supplies, some licenses, and miscellaneous. However, we're going to break it up for your organization. I do have some flexibility with the startup costs, but again, this information right here is pretty standard. I'll put your dollar amount here, your terms of the loan, and then also your expected interest rate. And so this is a structure that I start with. This is the structure that I end with for a typical Express business plan. Next is going to be our financial projections. For the financial projections, again, for the financial projections, what I use is going to be a template that is similar to, let me show you what I use. And actually, let me pull it up over here. Open up, open. So this is the template that I'm going to use for your financial model. What we'll do in our initial meeting is, or when you're filling out the questionnaire, I'm going to ask you, how many miles are you going to be driving on a typical day? And so, for example, if you're going to be driving 500 miles, we would put that. How much do you want to get paid per mile? Let's say it's going to be about $3.50, so I'd put that information in there. And then variable costs. Your variable costs typically are going to include your fuel, your maintenance, and paying a driver if you're going to put a driver in your truck. And whatever your variable cost is on estimate, we'll put that there. So I'll fill in. So we'll go through and we'll fill in what your expected daily miles driven. Usually truckers are going to be driving 6 days a week. That's what I put in here for the financial projection purposes. For labor, if you're going to have an employee, we can put it in here. If not, we can take it out. Startup costs, we'd be able to fill in this information with your startup cost. And then your monthly fixed cost right here. And then your loan information here. So once we have a discussion, and we'll walk through this, and you'll tell me what the information is, and I'll help you, kind of get an understanding of the definitions of the various terms. But once we're done with that, so what we'll do is, let's see here. I want to get rid of this, and we get rid of this. No, I don't want to get rid of that. Actually, you know what? I'll just get rid of it and keep that information. All right, so I'm going to get out of here. All right, so once we fill out your financial projection model information, I'm going to extrapolate some of the information. I'll put it here, whether it be your revenue projected for the first year, your expenses, your net profits, your profit and loss. We'll get all that information after we finish the model. I'll give some assumptions here on which, what we are basing our financial projections on for the trucking company. Again, I can help you understand the terminology and what all is included in that. So once we're done with that, your Express Trucker business plan is going to have your initial daily sales. So how many miles do you anticipate to drive? I'll put a little disclosure under here saying the variable costs are going to include maintenance costs, fuel, and driver pay. If it's just going to include maintenance and fuel, then I'll remove the driver pay and it will just state maintenance and fuel. Once we're done with that, then this will be populated with your profit and loss information for quarter 1, broken into month 1 to month 3. Quarter 2 broken into month 4 through 6, quarter 3 broken into 7 through 9, and then quarter 4 broken into month 10 to month 12. And then finally, we're going to have our pro forma income statement for the next 5 years right here, and then also a balance sheet for the next 5 years. So that is the behind the scenes look at my Express plan for truckers. It does change. It does vary a little bit from my traditional Express plans. It's got a little bit of different information. It's customized for the trucking industry. It's short, it's sweet, it's to the point. Based on feedback I've gotten from other truckers and based on my experience, it's pretty efficient for loans up to about $120, $150, maybe $200,000. Anything above that, you're probably going to want to go to my Express Plan Plus or my traditional plan. But again, this is a excellent way to succinctly describe your business. Hopefully this was helpful. If you liked me or if you liked this video, give me a thumbs up on YouTube. And if you want to go ahead and purchase this Express Plan template or Express Plan for truckers, just pick up the phone, give me a call, send me a text, send me an email. My information is on my website, which is qualitybusinessplan.com. All right, thank you and have a great day.